This is Datila, and welcome to the Wrestling Time Post Show. It is October 4th, 2023, and tonight I'll be reviewing AEW Dynamite. Now, Dynamite was having their 4-year celebration. I can't believe 4 years went by so quick. Like, I remember watching the first episode of AEW Dynamite. I remember being at the first All Out. So it's crazy so crazy and hard to believe that it's been 4 years since AEW Dynamite was first launched and created. But here we are, 4 years later. I think that the creation of AEW Dynamite has helped, was a tremendous change to the wrestling, because for the longest time, WWE, but that's a whole different video. Okay, so Adam Copeland, who made his debut at WrestleDream, made his AEW Dynamite debut tonight. And actually, Dynamite kicked off with him introducing himself to Kenny Omega, who said that he had him at the edge of his seat. And he also reunited with Chris Jericho. So I think that was a great way to kick off Dynamite. And he also closed the show. Like, he was basically, talking about why he came to AEW, and people were chanting for Adam, which was kind of, unique to him, because he's so used to people chanting Edge. Even for me, like, even just calling him Adam Copeland is like gonna take some used to, because for the longest time we were just calling him Edge. So he lists some of his first time ever opponents, some opponents he would like to face for first time ever matches. He mentions Jon Moxley, which is kind of odd that they never faced each other when they were in WWE. He mentions Miro, which again, kind of odd, they never faced each other in the WWE. Kenny Omega, Powerhouse Hobbs, Jay White, Juice Robinson. Personally, I would love to see Adam Copeland, versus Ricky Starks, Adam Copeland versus MJF. Those are some of my dream matches. What about you guys? What are some of your dream matches for Adam Copeland? Obviously, when he reunites with Christian Cage, we'll probably see some more dream matches. But speaking of dream matches, speaking of Christian Cage, so basically he says his decision came to going to AEW based on what his daughter Lyric said. He should go have fun with Uncle Jay, obviously Jay being Christian Cage here. So Christian Cage comes out, and, he wants to have one final run with Christian. He says that for the first time since 2011, they want to team together again. He mentions FTR, the Young Bucks. Why not? I was going to say ENC, but since it would be ANC, ANC versus the Hardy Boys one more time. Maybe ANC versus the Gun Club. ANC versus the Acclaim. And by I mean Max and Caster and Anthony Bowens, excluding Daddy Ass. If they could find a third person to team with, make it a trios. ANC versus Top Flight, ANC versus the Kingdom. So many dream matches for tag teams. Now, I don't know if this will happen. But me personally, I would like to see ANC, Adam Copeland, and Christian versus Motor City Machine Guns. That would be an incredible dream match. And, he basically says that he wants just to show an entire generation of fans why they are one of the greatest tag teams of all time. So they hug, they embrace, and you think like, oh, everything is fine. But then Christian says, go fuck yourself. And he gets asshole chants. And basically, Luchasaurus and Nick Wayne come out, and all three of them stand in the ramp. And, because Adam Copeland's going to have his in-ring debut next week against Luchasaurus. So that is pretty much Adam Copeland's segments in tonight's AEW Dynamite. So the way I think this is going to go, I honestly think he's probably going to end up feuding with Christian Cage, and then somewhere down the road they'll reunite and go on one last run as a tag team. That's what I think is good. But let me know your thoughts on Adam Copeland coming to AEW. Some dream matches that you would like to see from him, some dream matches you would like to see from him and Christian in the live chat or in the comment section. But I'm actually really excited for Adam Copeland in AEW. Like he said, so many first-time ever matches that could take place. All right, so we had the AEW International title match, Fenix versus Nick Jackson. This is actually a rematch from the November 20th, 2019 episode of AEW Dynamite. This was for the AEW International title. That match on the 8th episode was won by Fenix. And this was no different. This was a really, really good match. I was kind of surprised Fenix won because, with Full Gear being in LA, I'm really surprised that they didn't go for the whole Nick Jackson as international champion. But commentary did make note that Kenny Omega and Fenix are the only Triple Crown champions in AEW. But this was a really good match, a great way to kick off the celebrations. I really enjoyed this match. And it seems like Fenix is 2-0 to Nick Jackson. So now we get a Roderick Strong segment, but this segment originally, when it aired, like the audio was totally off. Apparently TBS was having issues, so it was really hard to get into the segment. But when they replayed it, basically it was like Roderick Strong giving Adam Cole a scooter, and he made him rearrange his furniture. I thought it was a pretty hilarious segment. And it seems like Roderick Strong is trying to manipulate Adam Cole into like staying with him, because he told him not to go yet, that he still needs his help. So very interesting to see where this whole Kingdom, Adam Cole, and MJF stuff goes. I honestly think it's going to lead to Adam Cole wrestling MJF for that world title, and possibly maybe the Kingdom taking those those ROH tag titles off of Better Than You, baby. But this was a good segment. Their segments have been pretty hilarious. I think my favorite spot in this segment was when they showed the picture of Matt Taven and Mike Bennett and Roderick Strong at the hospital. I thought that was hilarious. We get Wardlow versus Griff Garrison, and this is pretty much a squash match or an enhancement match. He takes 5 power bombs, and then the ref stops this. So I don't know how I feel about this. I felt like this is not necessary. I mean, like, Wardlow has been MIA, and you bring him back and you have him squish Griff Garrison. What are we going to do here with Wardlow? You're going to revisit how you're going to build him up again, like by having him do squash matches? I just wasn't a fan of this. I'm sorry. So we get a Don Callis interview, and basically says that Kyle Fletcher is going to be Konosuke Takeshita's partners and recommended by Will Ospreay. And he goes on to say, battles are won, but no one remembers that. They only remember who wins the war. We get a trios title match. It's the Butcher the Blade and Kip Sabin versus the Acclaimed and Daddy Ass. So it's a K match, but it was kind of predictable that Daddy Ass and the Acclaimed were going to win that. I don't think there was any doubt. Probably give Wardlow another shot, another short TNT title run. Yeah, maybe. But I wasn't a huge fan of this. I mean, don't get me wrong. I like the Acclaim and Daddy Ass, but I felt like this match was kind of unnecessary because we get a Bullet Club Gold segment, and basically they're talking about MJF. They don't buy that he had nothing to do with Jay White getting jumped at last week's Dynamite. If you guys remember, Jay White was attacked by like 5 people, and they had MJF's devil mask. So he calls him tenderness, taint, and ass voice. He gets the crowd to chant that. So MJF splits all the things that he's done. He's threw Jericho off a cage, whipped Cody 10 times with his butt, and gave children dodgeball trauma. He almost got him kicked off TV when he called Tony Khan a mark. So I was actually at that Dynamite. It was their first Dynamite here, and that was an incredible pipe bomb that MJF dropped. I mean, he called Tony a mark on national television. So, and I just remember just being shocked, be like, oh my God, he did that. And you guys remember after that, he, took a hiatus and came back at All Out. So MJF makes it clear that he did not attack Jay White, and he's suggesting a Stockton street fight because they were in Stockton, California. And as Bullet Club exits the ring, Jay White attacks MJF, and he holds up the title. He calls him a pathetic, dirty liar and gutless coward. Ouch. he talks about how the people needed an elite champion, and says MJF isn't it, and that on November 18th, which if you know that's Full Gear, MJF versus Jay White for the AEW title, and he takes the title and says he's got 2 words for him: guns up, or if you want to say it in Spanish, amas arriba. So this is going to be interesting. MJF versus Jay White at Full Gear. I'm actually going to be at Full Gear, so I'm pretty excited that I get to see that match live. I'm really excited. And I honestly think MJF is going to find a way to win. I don't think Jay White was going to walk out of there with that title. Or maybe he might not even make it to Full Gear, especially if he got assaulted by those people last week. Who knows what's going to happen between now and Full Gear to Jay White. But let me know in the comments, what do you guys think of MJF versus Jay White at Full Gear for that AEW World title? And I wonder how MJF is going to get his title back. Seriously, because Jay White just ran off with it. So, like, later on in the night, we get an MJF Backstage Segment, and he so wishes his bro Chacho Adam Cole, baby, was there. And, like, Max Caster gives him, like, a shoulder massage. He says that he's sick and tired of Max Caster stalking him. And when he calls Adam Cole, because, like, he says he can't do this alone, it goes to voicemail, which is not bad. I mean, which is bad. Totally very bad. Because, that's his bro Chacho. And now he's spending more time with Roderick Strong and less time with MJF. And they are the ROH Tag Team Champions. Very interesting. Earlier in the night when MJF did his segment with Bullet Club, he did not come out with the ROH Tag title. It's just his world title. So we'll see, but I think we're going to see the implosion of Better Than You, baby, sooner rather than later. So Orange Cassidy, is being interviewed backstage, and he says they would have been great champions, and says Hook is a great champion because he still has a title. Now, Hook casually suggests that it should be him against Rey Fenix instead of Jon Moxley. So Jon Moxley will be challenging Rey Fenix for that international title next week on Title Tuesday. Next week's Dynamite is on a Tuesday because of the MLB game. So this is interesting. So maybe we might get a triple threat, or maybe I'm trying to see how you could make it a 3-way out of that, especially because I don't think Orange Cassidy would be the type of person to get involved in a match. I think maybe you know what I think? I think Jon Moxley would probably win back that international title. And then when you set up the rematch for Rey Fenix, maybe that's how Orange Cassidy gets involved in this dynamic. Full Gear, maybe? Yeah, Chris Jericho and Kenny Omega versus Konosuke Takeshita and Kyle Fletcher. So Chris Jericho and Kenny Omega actually make a pretty good tag team. They tag teamed together for the first time on Collision, and they were really, really good. I want to, kind of crazy, but I actually want to see them more of them as a tag team. I don't want Wardlow back in the TNT title picture. How come? So I thought this was a good match. My favorite spot in this match was when they did the Blue Thunder Bomb and the Michinoku Driver to Chris Jericho and Kenny Omega. Like, Omega got the Michinoku Driver and Chris Jericho got the Blue Thunder Bomb. I actually really like that spot. That was a really cool spot. Also, like when Chris Jericho did the Hurricanrana to Kyle Fletcher. So Chris Jericho and Kenny Omega were victorious after Kenny Omega hit the one-wing angel to Kyle Fletcher. He will win it, then lose it fast again. Oh, you talking about Wardlow? So after this, things got a little interesting. Powerhouse Hobbs attacked Chris Jericho and Kenny Omega. He sent Omega into the barricade, and commentary made note of the fact that Nick Jackson went to the hospital, and so did the rest of the Elite. So there was nobody out there to come help Kenny Omega. Good match. I thought Jericho and Omega made a good tag team. They should keep it up, right? That's exactly what I said. They should be a tag team. So, Chris Jericho tried to put himself in between Kenny Omega and Powerhouse Hobbs, but he took the chair shots, and Don Callis ended up hitting Kenny Omega with the chair shot. So, I have to say, I'm not a big fan of this because, once again, Powerhouse Hobbs is in a faction. Do you not know what to do with Powerhouse Hobbs that you have to consistently put him in a faction? Like, you would have thought that he would be a singles competitor by now. Like, but apparently they had to put him in a faction again. So they probably just don't know what to do with him if they have to keep putting him in factions. Well, maybe we'll see. Maybe it's a you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours type of thing. Maybe we'll see. Powerhouse Hobbs need this. He will fit right in with the Don Callis family. Yeah, but this is like what, his third faction? Is he like ever gonna just get a singles run? Okay. So we get Skye Blue versus Timeless Toni Storm. I have to say, Toni Storm is really killing it with this character of hers. She comes out with the messed up makeup and that black hair. The screen turns black and white, and she's just like doing this over exaggeration, which he's the Big Show of different factions. He changes. So you're seeing Powerhouse Hobbs changes factions more times than Big Show turns heel, and she's just killing it with this character. I absolutely love this character. I think she's doing a really good job. Kind of reminds me of Chelsea Green's former character in Impact Wrestling, Laura Van Ness, when she was doing the hot mess. You know, she would come out with that messed up makeup. So it kind of reminds me of that. But, you know, the difference between them is that Laura Van Ness was a bride and Toni Storm seems to be like a movie star. So another thing to note here is, you guys remember Julia Hart spat that mist in Skye Blue's face, and she was, let me see, I love Toni Storm's new gimmick. It's a throwback to the women of the 30s and 40s, kind of like Marilyn Monroe. Yeah, I noticed that. You know, she does her hair like Marilyn Monroe. So Skye Blue seemed a little dark blue. You know, she had darker makeup. She didn't smile. She kind of like Willow too. Like Willow got sprayed in the face with that mist, and it seems to be corrupting them. So, are we gonna slowly see them be corrupted and maybe join the House of Black? You guys remember when that happened to Julia Hart? She was a bubbly, happy cheerleader, and then she got sprayed in the face with the mist, and she became her current character. So I wonder what's happening to Skye Blue and Willow Nightingale, because they don't seem to be themselves as of late because of that spray. But Timeless Toni Storm wins after she hits the Storm 0 to Blue. This match was all Toni Storm, honestly. I didn't see Skye Blue get much offense in. And we also find out that there's going to be a 4-way number 1 contender match for the ROH World title, and Eddie Kingston will be doing commentary. So overall, I thought this was a pretty decent episode of Dynamite. You know, for a 4-year celebration, I didn't think it was too bad. Skye Blue will become Skye Black. Oh, what about you switch it and become Black Skye? I think that sounds a lot better. It's just a mere match. If it has Skye Blue, it's on. So overall, I did enjoy this episode. There were some things I didn't like. I didn't like the Wardlow squash match, or enhancement match as it's called. The Trios titles match was alright, but I felt like, okay, you know, Daddy Ass and the Acclaimed are going to win that one. So I'd give this an 8 out of 10. I didn't think it was too bad of a show. 8 out of 10, good show. I love Copeland and Christian. Yes, definitely. And then Adam Copeland was just awesome. This whole stuff. I cannot wait to see that feud. You know, speaking of Adam Copeland and Christian, their feud, this is going to be the first time that their feud is on equal footing. Fenix versus Nick Jackson was best match of the night. Yes, it was. Copeland versus Christian, maybe at Full Gear. Please give that to me. I'm going to Full Gear. I would love to see that in person. But what I mean is, like, you know, in WWE, Christian Cage felt second best to Edge, and it was because of his booking. Like, WWE made Christian feel like non-important compared to Edge. Like, he was always an Edge's shadow. And in AEW and even in Impact, like, Christian was really, really good at what he's doing. And I'm actually enjoying this Christian heel run. So they're gonna be booked equally, and I cannot wait for their feud, which we know is gonna happen. And like I said earlier, they're gonna feud and then reunite down the road and give me ANC versus FTR, ANC versus the Hardy Boys one more time, ANC versus the Guns, ANC versus Bullet Club Gold, ANC, if they could somehow go to Impact, ANC versus the Motor City Machine Guns. Holy smokes, this is going to be great. I cannot wait. No wonder Christian was throwing temper tantrums in the early 2000s for his gimmick, which was hilarious. So I gotta wait and see how this shoot develops, but I cannot wait. I'm all for it. So with that being said, you guys, thank you guys so much for watching and for the continued support. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell so you get notified whenever I go live or release a new video. I am on the road to 700 subscribers. I'm only 4 subscribers away, so help me out by subscribing. And also, too, I did get my Master Morpher. If you don't know what a Master Morpher is, if you've seen Power Rangers, then you saw the 25th anniversary special. Tommy Oliver did have a Master Morpher, which allowed him to morph into the Black Dino Thunder, White Ranger, Red Turbo, Red Zeo, Green Ranger, obviously. And I will be doing that unboxing, so make sure you subscribe so you can see that unboxing. I also did have a Rita Repulsa Lightning Collection figure, which I have yet to unbox, so I'm going to be filming that. And also, too, I will, for those of you who don't know, Power Rangers Cosmic Fury, the final season of Power Rangers as we know it, is available on Netflix. I did watch it, so I will be doing my thoughts and opinions, what I like, what I disliked, and my thoughts on the finale. So please subscribe so you guys can see that content that's going to be come out. Yes, give me to 700. I'll think about it. I'll think about the Mountain Dew. I don't like Mountain Dew. It's not one of my favorite drinks. So make sure you subscribe. I will let you guys know once the stuff is ready to be released. I haven't even began filming, but I'll definitely keep you guys posted, which is why you should subscribe. So with that being said, I'll see you guys Friday after Rampage. Bye.